Now, the official date to file your taxes has been released, but you can get a head start on filing your taxes with this tool. Now, when I say get a head start, this does not mean that you file your taxes with your last W-2 that you received, as many people try to get you to do, because when you do that, you leave a ton of money on the table. If you're just filing with that, but you could have qualified for multiple tax deductions, then you're doing yourself a disservice, especially in this day and age where there's a lot of gig workers and you didn't realize as a gig worker, yeah, you may have been doing it to make money, but it also came with a ton of tax deductions that can lower your tax liability, which ultimately increases your refund. Listen close, don't leave, because there's something here that may put more money in your pocket. In addition to that, there are many people who are posting on social media. Social media has officially made it so that you are indeed a home-based business. You're doing things online with the intent to make a profit. You post more often. You post more strategically. And as a result, social media is tending to pay you for it. And when social media pays you, now you're positioning yourself to make a profit. What comes along with that is also tax deductions, because now the things that you're using to grow on social media now becomes tax deductible, like the phone you're listening to me on, like the internet service that you're using. All of these things, along with other things that you incorporate into your content strategically, can indeed be tax deductible. Now, imagine you filed your taxes and you did it without knowing what I just said. And there are tons that I haven't even said yet. But imagine now you know that. Now you can go back and look at your previous year, 2025, and realize, oh, the money I spent here could be tax deductible because that was a part of my content. The places that I traveled here could be tax deductible because that was a part of my content. The things that I bought here could be tax deductible because that was a part of my content. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down, because that is what positions you to get a larger refund, not somebody lying or denying or trying to milk the numbers. What you have to understand is the activities that you carried out throughout the year that could position you to get more money. And the person who's filing your taxes, if they ask you the right questions, they can lead you to the path of discovery that leads you to understanding, oh, it's money you already spent, that you can start recouping portions of them back, because receipts equal cash. If you can show certain transactions and you know that it's tied into things that you did in pursuit of a profit, that puts more money into your pocket. So let's dive in. Now, shout out to CPA Practice Advisor. They always have some great articles that I like to use just so you can get an understanding of what's going on. You can use this IRS tool today and get a jump start on filing your taxes. Get a head start just so you can already be in position from a data perspective. And then when it's actually time to actually file on the 26th officially, then you could be in position. Now, depending on when you're watching this video, things may vary, but hopefully you still got some value by coming here. Taxpayers can begin preparing their taxes now and then have the system electronically file the return once the IRS officially starts accepting them later this month. So the IRS service opened up its IRS free file on January 9th for those who qualify, allowing eligible people to prepare and submit their federal tax returns early. However, the main IRS filing season begins on January 26th when the agency starts processing tax returns. Here's what you got to know. More than 70% of U.S. taxpayers are eligible for the IRS free file. That's more than 70%, especially those who have basic tax filing. Now, if you have tax deductions and things that I mentioned, then it'll be worth whatever the investment is to get your taxes filed for the most part, because I just never know what people are out here doing. But for the most part, it may be worth the investment of whatever it is to file your taxes, because it gets you a ROI, a return on your investment. And many find it saves them money compared with paid tax software option. That's referring to using their software. So do what works for you. I have a link below if you want to get access to some tax experts that can help you file your taxes and save money in the process. If you already have your tax expert, that's fine as well. Just want to make it available to you if that's something you're seeking. Taxpayers can begin preparing their taxes now and then have the system electronically file the return once the IRS officially starts accepting them later this month. So you may be familiar with the Free File program, but let me let you know how this works. So the Free File program works as a partnership between the IRS and several private tax software companies. This year, filers with an adjusted gross income of $89K or less in 2025 can use guided step-by-step tax software products at no cost to prepare and file their federal returns. So you have to know where you fall into that to see if that's something you qualify for, and it could potentially save you money, and they're partner with other tax softwares, etc. If a taxpayer's income is higher than the Free File program's income limit, they can still use the Free File fillable forms starting January 26. These are digital versions of the IRS paper forms and are available to taxpayers of all income levels who are comfortable preparing their own return using IRS instructions. Many people are okay with filing their own tax returns and going through that process, following the guidelines and the instructions. If that's you, then you know what to do. If not, and you'd rather say, nope, I want to hand it off to somebody who I feel can help you, then hopefully you have a tax expert. If not, link below that can help you get in position and get connected to one that fits your needs. Each trusted IRS file free partner can set its own rules for eligibility. These rules may include income level, age, state residence, and even military status. So basically they have partners, and those partners that, software is being utilized, they can set their own rules for eligibility. So it may be some that, work with this state, but not others. It may be some that works with certain income levels, but not others. So you have to go through the process and see, because that just is something that they have the ability to do based on whatever their metrics are. Some companies also offer free state income tax preparation filing through the program, which could be helpful because most of the time when you go through something like a TurboTax, for example, when you get to the state, it's an additional fee. But if they have a free fee, and if that's what you're seeking, then by all means, you can do that. Now, if you're a business owner, you also got to understand that your tax preparation fee is tax deductible. So whatever you paid last year to file your taxes, consider writing that off. And for those of you who stuck around to this part of the video, you just got a bonus nugget that a lot of people are going to leave off, because some of you may have paid $500 plus to get your taxes filed, $1,000 plus to get your taxes filed. And what if you can write that off when it's time to file taxes this year? Very important. Now, people who use the IRS Free File can claim important tax credit at no extra fee. These credits include earned income tax credit. Make sure you see if you qualify, because that's a big one. Child tax credit and other refundable credits. And credits are powerful. A lot of times we talk about tax deductions, but most of the time tax deductions are just percentages. So you might write off $15,000 worth of stuff, but a percentage of that is what actually is lowered, or your tax liability is lowered by. So it might lower your tax liability by $5,000, just as an example. However, when it comes to these credits, it's usually a significant drop that can reduce the taxes owed or increase your refund, even if no taxes are due. So this is how people who don't have taxes due still get a refund. It's those credits that they qualify for. Now taxpayers can find the right free file option by visiting irs.gov free file /refile. And now this gets you in position to tap into this software. The Free File program works on computers, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. So take advantage of that as well. And the Free File has been offered for more than 2 decades as a part of a long-standing partnership between the IRS and software providers, and it's designed to make filing federal tax returns easier and more affordable for millions of Americans. So this is just something that they've been doing. Some people say, nah, I don't want to use their tools, their software, for whatever reason. I'm not here to tell you what you should and should not do. I just want to give you an insight on what to consider, so that way you get the most out of this tax season based on your situation and based on whatever it is that you did in the previous calendar year. Mr. Smith signing out. Click any available link below if you want to tap into the tax experts, and let me know if you dropped some value. What was the nugget that I gave you today that could potentially put more money back into your pocket? Share this with somebody who else you feel may benefit. Salute.